Hey everyone, Beth with Crafty Corner, and today we're going to be doing a sublimation tie-dye technique with Cricut Infusible ink. Today I'm using Cricut Infusible ink in the Galaxy pattern. Comes with two different colors in each box. I'm also using a Cricut brand sublimation shirt. It is 95% polyester, which is what we need for Infusible ink. Infusible ink comes in a black bag to keep it away from the sun. So just be careful grabbing it out that you don't get your fingers on it too much. Comes with a lint-free cloth, butcher paper, and then the two sheets of the different colors of Infusible ink. I separated them all out so that I knew I'm going to put the ones back in that black bag, so I have all of the butcher paper and the two different Infusible inks. I'll start with this one to cut out my main design. So I use a brayer so that my fingers don't touch the Infusible ink too much. Press it down nice and well, and let's go ahead and cut out our design. When taking the material off the mat, we always just flip the mat over, and that way you can hold the material down flat. And let's weed it. To weed Infusible ink, we actually don't use the tools as much. I tend to use them a little bit just to kind of keep them stuck on the letters and the design stuck on the carrier sheet. You can see I'm just using my fingers and kind of peeling away all the pieces, just using the weeder whenever they're needing just a little bit of a help. One thing I wanted to point out with Infusible ink is that it does become more vibrant once it's been heated. So it will look more like the box after it's been heat pressed. Next, I'm going to take the butcher paper and I'm going to completely cover my Easy Press mat with this butcher paper. We don't want any of the ink from the sublimation, the Infusible ink sheets, to get onto the mat because you will not get that off. So I'm just using 3 different pieces here, just cutting it so that I can cover my entire mat with it. And then cut as close to the design as possible, just so I know exactly where it is going to lay once it's on my shirt. I have the butcher paper down and my shirt, and I'm just going to place my design right where I want it and press it down just so it stays for now. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lift up on the shirt and kind of create almost like an outline around where my design is going to go. So just using my fingers, I kind of just pinch the shirt and try and get it up around that design. Then I'll carefully remove my design so that hopefully that outline stays there. Set that aside. And then I'm going to take that outline and just kind of pinch it all to the middle. What I'm doing is I'm trying to use the rest of the shirt to cover up where that design is going to go. So hopefully it will stay nice and white in the middle there to be able to put our design. Then we'll just take the rest of the shirt and we'll just kind of scrunch it up. I definitely like the more design look of it with less white, so I tried to keep it as unscrunched, if that's a thing, as much as possible, just so I could see more of the design. Then I take my Infusible ink transfer sheet, pattern signed it towards the shirt, and I just use some heat resistant tape, and I just tape it down all the way around the sheet there. I used a second sheet for the top part. I did overlap the two sheets, which I was a little worried about, but it turned out just fine. Again, just using the heat resistant tape to tape down the sheets. I taped it right to the butcher paper. If there's any pieces of the shirt sticking out, you can just kind of scrunch them back in and then put the tape down. It kind of holds the shirt underneath the sheet. We're then going to turn our easy press to 400 degrees for 60 seconds. And we're going to press. I only have the 9x9 easy press, so I definitely just did it in sections. Just 60 seconds for each part, moving it every minute. Trying to make sure that I don't overlap my easy press too much, but enough that it gets all of the parts of the pattern. After each section has been pressed, give it time to cool and then remove your transfer sheets. And you'll see your pattern on your shirt. And I think the coolest part about doing these shirts is actually when you pull it apart like that. I find that so cool and satisfying to see the tie-dye effect. All right, now we're gonna turn the shirt around. We're gonna do the same thing on the back. The ink did transfer over to the butcher paper, so we do want to use new butcher paper for the easy press mat again. So same thing, we'll use the 3 sheets of butcher paper to completely cover the easy press mat. We'll lay the shirt down, and just like for the front, we're gonna scrunch up the back. This time we're not having to leave any part out for the design, so we don't have to worry about that. Just kind of making sure that we get some nice good flat pieces to be able to transfer our pattern to. Once the shirt is all scrunched up how you like it, we're going to place our Infusible ink sheets on top, again with the pattern facing the shirt. And we're just going to go ahead and tape all around just like we did the front. Remembering to use heat resistant tape. One thing I forgot to do for the front of this shirt is putting butcher paper over the top of the transfer sheet so that none of the ink actually gets on my easy press. I did forget to do that with the front, but I'm going to make sure I do that here just so we don't ruin my easy press. And just like the front, do each section for 60 minutes at 400. After it has been pressed all the way around, again, let it cool for a little bit, and then you can remove the transfer sheets and see your pattern. Again, I love this part, being able to pull away the shirt like that and see all the tie-dye effect. I just think that that's so cool. All right, now we're gonna go back to the front of the shirt. You can see the part that was left blank, and let's insert a butcher paper in between the front and the back of the shirt. Lay it down nice and smooth. Then we're gonna take our design and put it right in the middle there where it was left white. You can see I didn't do that great of a job keeping the whole middle white. There's a little spot there, a few little spots that kind of go underneath my design, but that's okay. Once again, put the butcher paper down and let's heat for 60 seconds. When it's done, again, let it cool. And then you can take the design off. And look at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, give us a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe.